It block out the noise, block out the doubt, block out the hate. Because greatness doesn't grow in chaos, it grows in clarity. You know what's killing your dream? It's not your lack of talent. It's not your background. It's not your background. It's not your failures. It's the noise. It's the distraction. It's the opinions of people who ain't doing nothing with their lives telling you how to live yours. If you're gonna win, if you're gonna be legendary, you've gotta learn how to block out the noise. You gotta tune into the frequency of greatness. You gotta lock in on your vision like your life depends on it, because it does. Let them talk, let them laugh, let them doubt you. While they gossip, you grind. While they party, you push. While they sleep, you sacrifice. Greatness doesn't shout, it whispers. And if you want to hear it, you got to get quiet. You got to shut out everything and everyone that's not aligned with your purpose. Don't let that noise drown out your destiny. Let me tell you something. There's a voice inside of you. It's still, it's powerful, it's truth. And you can't hear it when you're drowning in everybody else's drama. Silence the world and you'll finally hear yourself. You're not here to be like, you're here to be legendary. And legends, they don't move to noise. They move to noise, they move to vision. Your greatest threat isn't failure, it's distraction. See, most people out here are scared of failing, scared of messing up, scared of taking a shot and missing. But let me tell you the truth, failure ain't your enemy, distraction is. Because failure can teach you something. Failure is a part of the process. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than you even tried. But distraction don't teach you nothing. It just steals from you, quietly, silently. While you're busy scrolling, watching, drifting, it's taking your time, your energy, your focus. And by the time you realize what's happening, it's already gone. Another day wasted. Another week you'll never get back. Another year spent wondering why you're still stuck in the same spot. Let me be real with you. Failure makes you sharper. When you fail, you learn, you grow, you adjust. But distraction keeps you numb. It keeps you lazy. It keeps you from ever even stepping in the arena. It convinces you to be a spectator in your own life. You're watching everybody else win. You're watching everybody else build. You're watching everybody else rise, and you think you're just not ready. No, you're not distracted. That's what's holding you back. We live in a world full of noise, notifications, opinions, content, news, gossip, comparison. Every single second, something is trying to grab your attention. Everybody's talking. Everybody's pulling at you. Everybody wants you to look, to listen, to engage. But the truth is, not everything deserves your attention. Not everything deserves your energy. You've got to learn how to protect your mind like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. When you give your focus away, you're giving your life away. Listen to me. The enemy doesn't always come with fire and thunder. Sometimes he comes with distraction. He comes disguised as comfort, as entertainment, as just one more episode, or just a quick check on social media. And while you're numbing your ambition, your dream is starving. Every goal you set is begging for attention, but you keep feeding a distraction. I know what it's like. I know what it feels like to say, I want to be great, but you keep getting pulled in 1,000 directions. You got goals written on the wall, dreams in your journal, prayers on your lips, but your time says something else. Your habits say something else. Your routine says something else. If your life was a movie, the credits wouldn't say a hard work or focus or a grit. It would say a distractions, a noise, a wasted time. You gotta wake up. You've gotta understand that the battlefield isn't always physical. It's mental. And every day, the war is for your attention. There are two wolves inside of you. One is discipline. The other is distraction. And whichever one you feed will grow. You want to win? Start feeding the wolf of discipline. Start feeding the wolf of focus. Start feeding the wolf of purpose. Because every time you check out, every time you escape, every time you let distraction in, you're making it harder for yourself to rise. Distraction isn't just about phones and media. It's about people too. Some of you are distracted by relationships that ain't going nowhere. You're spending emotional energy on people who don't push you forward. You're letting your circle distract you from your calling. You need people who feed your fire, not put it out. You need people who sharpen you, not drain you. Every moment you give to a conversation that doesn't build you, every hour you waste trying to explain your purpose to someone who doesn't get it, you're robbing your future. Let me be clear. Focus is the new flex. Not money, not cars, not cloud, focus. Because focus builds what distractions destroy. Focus creates freedom. Focus creates results. And if you can learn to lock in, to eliminate the noise, to shut the door on what doesn't matter, you will do in 1 year what others can't do in 10. You want to rise? You want to stand out? You want to become something most people only dream about? Then you got to stop being average with your attention. Stop giving your time to people, places, and problems that don't deserve it. Stop letting small things steal your peace. Because when you focus, when you really focus, you become dangerous. You become unstoppable. You become the kind of person who doesn't wait for opportunity. You create them. There's a voice inside of you calling you to more, but you can't hear it when you're busy listening to the world. You can't answer your calling when you're distracted by everything that isn't aligned with your purpose. And let me tell you this, the enemy knows he can't destroy you. But if he can distract you, he doesn't have to. Because a distracted person will destroy their own dream. So today, I dare you to unplug. I dare you to cut off what's stealing your energy. I dare you to delete what's destroying your discipline. I dare you to cancel the noise and choose clarity. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Make a decision that you're not going to be owned by distractions anymore. You're not going to be controlled by comparison. You're not going to let the world dictate your attention. You're going to take your power back. You're going to take your mind back. This ain't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. You won't win every battle with distraction. But if you wake up every day and fight, if you wake up every day and decide to guard your focus, you're going to build something that lasts, something real, something meaningful. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You don't need more chances. You need fewer distractions. You don't need the world's approval. You need your own commitment. So stop fearing failure. Stop fearing wasted potential. Stop fearing the idea of being the same person next year that you are today. That's the real failure, when you let distraction rob you of transformation. Greatness is not out there somewhere. It's already in you. It just needs your focus to wake it up. It needs your attention to bring it to life. So block out the noise. Tune into your goals. Turn up the volume on your grind. Silence everything that isn't speaking life into your future. Because the truth is, you're not losing because you're failing. You're losing because you're distracted. Lock in, block out the noise, and get to work. People who don't know your vision will always misjudge your grind. That's a fact. And if you're out here trying to make everybody understand your hustle, your late nights, your early mornings, your sacrifices, you're wasting valuable energy, because some people will never get it. Not because your dream isn't valid, not because your vision isn't powerful, but because they were never meant to see it in the first place. Your calling wasn't a conference call. You weren't supposed to explain it to everybody. It was given to you and only you. And if you keep needing validation for your vision, you'll end up letting go of the very thing that was meant to set you apart. You see, your grind looks crazy to people who are comfortable. Your discipline feels extreme to those who live distracted. Your ambition makes people uncomfortable because it reminds them of the work they're not doing. So what do? They criticize, they laugh, they gossip, they question. Why are you working so hard? Why are you always grinding? Or why you never have time to hang out? But don't let that shake you. Don't let their misunderstanding become your frustration. Because if they could see what you see, if they felt what you feel, they wouldn't be asking questions. They'd be clapping for you, but they don't see it. And that's okay, they're not supposed to. You have to get to a point in your journey where you stop explaining your grind to small minds. Stop lowering your energy just to be understood. Stop dimming your light just to make others feel comfortable. Let them misjudge you. Let them doubt you. Let them label you. Because labels don't define purpose. People called Noah crazy too, until it started raining. People thought Steve Jobs was obsessed. People called Kobe Bryant arrogant. People said Elon Musk was out of touch. But visionaries don't listen to noise. They're too busy building. They're too focused on becoming. And you got to understand there will be seasons where it feels like no one gets it. You'll be in your room grinding, planning, sacrificing, and nobody will clap for you. You'll be putting in work behind the scenes, staying disciplined, turning down distractions, and people will question your motives. But don't expect applause in the planning season. The praise comes after the harvest. But here's the deal. Most people quit before the harvest because they're too caught up in trying to explain the planting. Your grind is sacred. Your discipline is sacred. Your consistency, your hustle, your vision, that's your gift. That's your legacy in the making. And when you stop grinding just to respond to people who don't understand, you slow your own momentum. You can't be building and explaining at the same time. You either construct or you convince, but you can't do both. And real builders don't stop to convince doubters. They let the results speak. There's a reason people misunderstand you. You're doing something different. You're walking a path that's not crowded. It's lonely at first, but that's how you know you're going in the right direction. The crowd follows trends. Visionaries create them. So when people don't get your discipline, your habits, your goals, it means you're probably on the right track. Because greatness is never understood by average. And average will always criticize what is too afraid to chase. So what if they talk? So what if they laugh? So what if they don't see your dream the way you do? You weren't born to be understood. You were born to be legendary. And legends aren't always liked. They're not always clapped for, but they're always remembered. You gotta be so committed to your vision that people's opinions become irrelevant. Oprah just said, you gotta be so focused that distractions don't even have a voice in your life anymore. Every time someone questions your grind, remember why you started, remember the late nights, remember the pain, remember the dream that kept you awake, remember the vision that set your soul on fire, and then go harder. Let their doubts fuel your discipline. Let their criticism sharpen your commitment. Let their misunderstanding become the background music to your masterpiece. And don't expect support from everyone. Sometimes your biggest cheerleaders won't be family. Sometimes your closest friends won't see what you see. And that's okay. That's not their fault. They weren't built for your mountain. They weren't designed for your destiny. They don't have your fire. But don't hold that against them. Just keep climbing. You've got to be strong enough to walk alone if necessary. Because not everybody can go where you're going. And if you keep trying to bring everybody with you, you'll start dragging dead weight. Your purpose is too important for that. Your mission is too urgent. You don't need everyone to understand. You just need to stay locked in. So stop looking around for approval. Stop posting your progress just to be seen. Real success doesn't come from being noticed. It comes from being noticed. It comes from being consistent. It comes from doing the work when nobody's watching. It comes from building when nobody's clapping. It comes from grinding when nobody gets it. Eventually, the same people who question you will quote you. The same people who misjudged your grind will admire your glory, but only if you stay focused. Only if you keep showing up. Only if you stay true to your vision, even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, even when you feel misunderstood. The truth is, people can only see from where they stand. If they're stuck in average, they'll never understand your pursuit of excellence. If they're trapped in comfort, they'll never respect your pain. If they've never chased a dream, they won't know what it costs. But don't let their perspective shrink your purpose. Don't let their confusion make you question your clarity. You weren't meant to fit in. You were built to stand out. And standing out means some people won't get it. They'll talk. They'll get. They'll assume. Let them. You just keep building. Keep riding it. Keep grinding. Because at the end of the day, the ones who stay focused are the ones who finish. So next time someone misjudges your grind, just smile. They don't have to get it. They don't have to see it. They don't have to believe in it. You do. And that's enough. Because people who don't know your vision will always misjudge your grind. But that's their limitation, not yours. You can't hear your purpose through the volume of public opinion. That's why so many people walk around lost. Not because they don't have a purpose, not because they're not gifted, but because they've allowed too many outside voices to drown out the voice inside. You were born with greatness inside of you. You were born with a calling. But if you keep turning the volume up on what everybody else thinks, what everybody else expects, what everybody else says, you'll never hear what your soul is screaming for you to become. Purpose doesn't come from noise. It comes from stillness. It comes from silence. It comes from listening to that whisper deep down that's been trying to guide you, pull you, push you in the direction you were meant to walk. But the problem is you can't hear because you've given everyone else a microphone in your life. Your friends, your critics, your social media, your family, your fear, they all have a say, and now you're confused. You're torn between who you are and who they think you should be. Let me tell you something. Purpose is personal. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for applause. It doesn't show up with fireworks. It comes in quietly. Purpose isn't loud, but it's powerful. And if you can just turn down the noise long enough, you'll feel it. But most people don't. Most people are so busy chasing trends, chasing clout, chasing acceptance that they forget to chase what they were actually created for. See, public opinion will always shift. One day, they love you. The next, they doubt you. One moment you're a hero, the next you're a failure. You can't anchor your life to something that's constantly changing. If you do, you'll be tossed around like a leaf in the wind. You start making decisions based on likes instead of legacy. You begin to shape your life around applause instead of alignment. And here's the scary part. You can be celebrated and still be empty. You can have everyone clapping for you and still feel lost inside. Because applause is not the same as alignment. Validation is not the same as fulfillment. Only purpose can fill that gap. Only purpose can make the grind worth it. Only purpose can give the pain a point. But you can't live in your purpose and live for people at the same time. You gotta choose. You gotta decide whose voice matters most in your life. Because every voice you listen to is shaping you. Every opinion you allow in is molding your direction. So ask yourself, are you being guided by your calling or manipulated by the crowd? You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to just go with the flow. You were meant to lead, to create, to impact, to build. But that kind of life requires courage. The courage to be misunderstood. The courage to be judged. The courage to walk alone if necessary. Because the more you walk in purpose, the less you'll fit into the world's boxes. And that's a good thing. Most people are so afraid of rejection that they choose silence over significance. They rather be liked than be real. They rather be accepted than be impactful. But you can't change the world and please everyone at the same time. Jesus did. Martin Luther King did. Mandela did. Any person who ever walked in purpose had to rise above public opinion. So if you want to hear your purpose, start protecting your ears. Start guarding your mind. Be careful who you listen to. Be careful what you feed your spirit. Because words are seeds. And if you keep letting negative, fearful, jealous, small-minded seeds take root in your heart, you'll never grow into the giant you were meant to be. Sometimes you got to get away. You got to unplug. You got to shut the world off so you can hear what really matters. That's why some of your greatest moments of clarity don't come in the crowd. They come in isolation. They come in the silence. They come when it's just you and God, just you and your soul. That's when purpose shows up. That's when the vision gets clear. That's when the fire starts to burn again. But the longer you chase opinions, the more you delay your assignment. The longer you try to make everybody happy, the more you postpone your destiny. Because your purpose will offend people. It will confuse people. It will scare people. Why? Because it reminds them of what they're not doing. It forces them to look at the parts of themselves they've ignored. And instead of being inspired, some will choose to criticize. But don't you dare shrink. Don't you dare apologize for the fire inside of you. Don't you dare dim your light because it makes someone else uncomfortable. Your purpose is bigger than their opinion. Your mission is louder than their doubt. You got something inside of you that the world needs, but they don't even know it yet. So don't let their silence stop your shout. Don't let their confusion become your hesitation. You're not responsible for their reaction. You're responsible for your obedience. You're responsible for answering the call. You're responsible for showing up every day and saying, I don't care who gets it. I'm still grinding. I don't care who claps. I'm still building. I don't care who leaves. I'm still moving forward. Because when you live like that, when you block out the noise, when you stay rooted in who you are, you become unstoppable. And here's the beautiful part. Once you truly tap into your purpose, you stop needing public opinion altogether. You no longer need their validation. You no longer crave their approval. You wake up every day driven by something deeper, something eternal. You're no longer tossed by trends or discouraged by doubt. You're anchored in purpose. And when you're anchored, the storm doesn't shake you. The hate doesn't break you. The noise doesn't move you. So today, make a decision. Turn down the volume on the world. Turn up the voice within. because you can't hear your purpose through the volume of public opinion. And the moment you realize that, you'll stop living for them and start living for something greater, for your calling, for your legacy, for the impact you were born to make. Every second you give to critics is a second stolen from your calling. That's time you will never get back. That's energy that should have gone into building, into growing, into executing, but instead you gave away. And for what? For people who don't know your heart, your grind, your pain, or your purpose. People who aren't walking in your shoes, but feel qualified to speak on your path. Listen to me. Your calling is too precious, too powerful, too urgent for you to waste even a single moment arguing people who have nothing to do with your destiny. Let them talk. Let them type. Let them time. Let them criticize building. Don't you dare slow down your momentum to address something that has no eternal weight. Because while you're pausing to defend yourself, your future is waiting for you to move. Your goals are waiting for your focus. Your assignment is calling for your full attention. And you've got to decide, are you going to keep reacting to every negative comment? Or are you going to get serious about what you were created to do? See, critics love to distract. They love to pull you into their world where doubt reigns and fear wins. But you weren't built to live in that space. You were built for impact. You were built for purpose. You were built to rise. And the more you feed the critics, the more you starve your calling. The more time you spend explaining yourself to people who've already made up their minds, the more distance you create between who you are and who you're becoming. There's a reason eagles don't fly with pigeons. Eagles soar at heights that pigeons can't reach. Can't reach. And if you're constantly coming down just to respond to pigeons, you'll never reach the altitude you were meant for. You'll never touch the level you were born to rise to. Some of y'all are grounded right now, not because you're not gifted, but because you're too busy explaining your wings to people who can't fly. And I get it. It hurts to be misunderstood. It's frustrating to be judged unfairly. But that's part of the journey. Anybody who's ever done anything great has dealt with criticism. They've been mocked, they've been doubted, they've been ridiculed. But they kept going because they knew the work would speak louder than the critics ever could. And that's the mentality you got to adopt. That's the mindset of a champion. You've got to be so focused, so consumed by purpose, that the noise fades into the background. You've got to be so in love with the process that you stop needing to prove yourself, because the need to respond comes from insecurity. But when you're grounded in who you are, when you're anchored in your calling, you don't need to clap back. You just continue to climb. Think about how much time is wasted on trying to change the minds of people who aren't investing in your growth. They don't pray for you. They don't show up for you. They don't show up for you. They don't build with you, but they feel entitled to speak on your process. That's not your problem. That's theirs. And the moment you realize that, the moment you truly internalize that, is the moment you take your power back. Every second matters. Every moment you're alive is a moment you could be building something eternal. But if your energy is tied up in defending your grind, you'll never fully walk in your gift. Because here's the truth. Greatness requires obsession, and obsession doesn't leave room for distraction. Obsession doesn't stop to explain. Obsession doesn't take breaks to reply to haters. It's too locked in. It's too focused. It's too committed to the bigger picture. That's where you need to be, locked in. Not looking around, not checking for comments, not searching for approval, just executing. Just building. Just honoring the gift inside you, because your calling is sacred. It's divine. It's the reason you were born. And every second spent away from that calling is a second that dilutes your destiny. The world doesn't need another person trying to win arguments. The world needs people walking boldly in their purpose. The world needs creators. The world needs leaders. The world needs visionaries who refuse to be distracted. That's who you are. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be legendary. You're not here to be legendary. You're not here to impress. You're here to impact. And impact doesn't come from the comfort of approval. It comes from the courage of obedience. So stop explaining. Stop defending. Stop apologizing for your grind. Let the critics do what they do. Criticize. That's their role. But your role is to build. Your role is to lead. Your role is to rise. And when you stay in your role, everything else starts to align. Doors open. People show up. Miracles happen. Only when you're focused. Only when you're faithful. Some of you are delaying your breakthrough because you're distracted by breakdowns that aren't even yours to fix. You're wasting time trying to change minds when you should be changing lives. Let it go, let them talk. Let them doubt, because while they're gossiping, you're growing. While they're criticizing, you're climbing. While they're speculating, you're executing. Purpose doesn't need applause. It just needs action. And if you keep moving, if you stay faithful to the vision, there will come a day when the same people who criticize you will quote you. The same ones who mock your grind will admire your glow. But that only happens when you stay focused. So here's the challenge for the next season of your life. Give zero energy to critics. Zero. Not your time, not your words, not your emotions, not even a glance. Channel every ounce of that energy into becoming the best version of you. Wake up earlier, stay later, push harder, dream bigger, build deeper, and watch what happens. Because the moment you stop giving your power away to people who don't matter is the moment your purpose accelerates. The moment your destiny expands. The moment your impact multiplies. That's the key. That's the shift. Every second you give to critics is a second stolen from your calling. And your calling's too important. Your future is too valuable. Your legacy is too big to waste time proving yourself to small minds. So make the decision today. No more distractions. No more debates. No more defending what was never meant to be understood by them in the first place. You've got a calling to fulfill. Now go do it. Success demands you mute the world and listen to your mission. That's the truth most people don't want to face. Everybody says they want success. Everybody says they want to rise to win, to build something meaningful, but very few are willing to do what it really takes. Because real success, it doesn't come in a crowd. It doesn't come with noise. It comes in the quiet places. In the places where the only voice that matters is the one calling you to purpose. And you can't hear that voice if you're tuned into the world more than you're tuned into your assignment. See, the world is loud on purpose. It wants your attention. It wants your time. It wants your energy. Social media trends, gossip, distractions, they're all part of the noise that keeps you from hearing the still, powerful voice that's trying to lead you to greatness. And you gotta make a choice. Because you can't walk fully in your mission and stay plugged into the world at the same time. One of them has to go mute. If you're serious about success, real, meaningful, purpose-driven success, then you've got to start living differently. You've got to stop waking up and checking your phone before checking in with your goals. You've got to stop letting other people's opinions guide your day. You've got to stop comparing your pace to someone else's progress. Because all of that noise, it drowns your direction. It clouds your clarity. It steals your silence. And silence is where mission speaks. You see, success isn't just about working harder. It's about listening better, listening to what you were created for, listening to the deeper calling inside you that says, there's more in you. Keep going. But you can't hear that when you're surrounded by distractions. You've got to unplug. You've got to get still. You've got to learn how to mute the voices that don't align with your vision. It's not about being antisocial. It's not about ignoring the world forever. It's about prioritizing the voice that matters most, the voice of mission, the voice of destiny, the voice of God. That voice doesn't shout, it whispers. And the only way to hear a whisper is to silence everything else. Some of you can't figure out why you're not advancing. You got the talent, you've got the ambition, you got the work ethic, but you don't have the focus. You got too many tabs open in your mind, too many opinions in your heart, too many distractions in your habits. And all of that is creating static in your spirit. You can't download the full vision because the signal's jammed. It's time to clear the frequency. It's time to mute the world. Success will not scream for your attention. It requires you to listen intentionally. It requires you to lean in when others are zoning out. It requires you to shut the door on comfort and open the door to commitment. It's in that space. When you're locked in, when you're disciplined, when you're alone with your mission, everything starts to make sense. That's when the strategy comes. That's when the ideas flow. That's when the breakthroughs show up. But too many people are chasing success and staying loud at the same time. They're chasing clarity, but filling their life with clutter. They want peace, but they feed chaos. They want to rise, but they keep sitting in circles that pull them down. You can't mute the world halfway. You got to be willing to separate. Separate from the noise, from the negativity, from the things that look good but don't grow you, from the things that entertain but don't elevate. It's going to be uncomfortable at first because silence can be scary. When it's just you and your thoughts, you start confronting the truth. You start facing your fears. You start realizing how much time you've given to things that didn't deserve you. But that discomfort, that's the beginning of transformation. That's the beginning of freedom. That's when the mission gets loud. And make no mistake, the world will try to pull you back. Every time you step away from the noise will try to chase you. People will say you're distant. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're cold, but don't let that distract you. Because you're not disconnecting from people, you're connecting to purpose. You're not running away. You were born into what you were born to do. You've got to protect your peace like it's your greatest weapon, because it is. In peace, you create. In peace, you plan. In peace, you execute. That's what Mutant the World gives you. The power to hear your mission clearly. The power to follow your internal compass without being swayed by the crowd. And your mission matters too much to let the world drown it out. You weren't created to just exist. You weren't put here to just survive. You got a calling, a purpose, a set of gifts that were designed to impact lives. But those gifts only come to life when you're in alignment. And alignment comes from attention. Where your attention goes, your purpose grows. Where your focus lives, your future builds. So start being intentional with your attention. Don't give your ears to anything that poisons your perspective. Don't give your time to people who drain your dreams. Don't give your energy to things that entertain but don't empower. Feed your mission daily. Read what builds you. Listen to what inspires you. Watch what pushes you. Surround yourself with purpose-driven conversations. Because success isn't just about grinding harder. It's about thinking clearly. You can hustle all day, but if your mind is clouded, your progress will be stunted. If your spirit is distracted, your gift will stay dormant. The mind is powerful, but only when it's protected. Only when it's quiet enough to hear direction. That's what the greats understand. That's what separates the ordinary from the elite. The greats don't just train their bodies. They train their minds. They protect their focus. They mute the world. They know the mission is too big to be played with. They know the calling is too sacred to be compromised. You've got that same greatness inside you, that same capacity, that same ability to rise. But you gotta make the decision. Are you going to let the noise keep numbing your fire? Or are you going to rise above it? Are you going to keep living loud with no direction? Or are you going to get quiet and hear your next move? The choice is yours. But remember this, every second you're distracted by the world is a second you're disconnected from your mission. And success demands you mute the world and listen to your mission. Because when you do, the vision gets clearer, the steps get bolder, the purpose gets louder, and the results get undeniable. You've got to understand something. People will always talk. They'll always have opinions about what you should do, how you should live, and what you can or can't achieve. The moment you decide to chase something bigger than yourself, that's the exact moment when the noise gets louder. It's not when you're standing still that they talk. It's when you start to move. It's when you begin to rise that the voices around you start trying to pull you back down. They'll doubt you, they'll question you, and they'll whisper things that make you question yourself. But you've got to silence the doubters before they silence you. Because if you don't, their words will become your thoughts, and their fears will become your limits. You see, people project their insecurities onto you. When they say you can't, what they really mean is I couldn't. When they tell you it's impossible, it's not because it can't be done. It's because they never had the courage to try. And if you're not careful, their limitations will become the ceiling over your life. You can't afford to let that happen. You've got to build a mindset so strong that no voice, no opinion, no judgment can penetrate it. You've got to wake up every single day with a decision that your purpose is louder than their noise. The truth is, success isn't about talent alone. It's about mental toughness. It's about how many times you can hear a no and still push forward. It's about how many times people tell you you're wasting your time and you keep grinding anyway. The noise doesn't stop just because you start winning. It gets louder. When you begin to rise, jealousy joins the conversation. When you start succeeding, the whispers turn into criticism. That's why you've got to silence the doubters early before their noise becomes normal to you. Some of you are carrying the weight of other people's opinion. You've got dreams, but you paused your progress because someone you care about said you couldn't make it. You've allowed their words to build a prison around your potential. And I'm telling you, it's time to break free. Stop giving people permission to define you. Stop letting their disbelief shape your decisions. You don't owe them an explanation for your grind, for your passion, or for your pursuit. The only person who needs to believe in your dream is you. When you silence the doubter, it doesn't mean you hate them. It means you've learned to prioritize peace over approval. It means you've learned to tune out negativity so you can tune into your purpose. Because here's the truth. When your life starts changing, when your habits start evolving, some people will feel threatened. Your growth exposes their comfort. Your ambition reminds them of the dreams they abandoned. And instead of clapping for you, they'll criticize you. But you can't take it personal. You just smile, keep your head down, and keep building. Because the same people who said you couldn't will one day ask you how you did it. The doubters are part of the process. They come to test your focus, to measure your faith. Every time someone says you can't, that's a chance to prove you can. Every insult, every rejection, every closed door, that's fuel. Don't waste energy arguing with people who don't see your vision. Use that energy to make progress. Let your success become the conversation. Because when your results speak, you don't have. When you show up with consistency, when you work while they sleep, when you grind while they gossip, eventually the noise fades, and all that's left is your name written in success. I remember there was a time when people laughed at dreamer. They called them unrealistic. They say, be practical. But the same dreamers, the ones who were ridiculed, the ones who were told they were chasing fantasies, they're the ones who changed the world. They didn't let the world's noise drown out their conviction. They didn't ask for permission to be great. They simply decided to silence the doubters by doing the impossible. So don't let small minds convince you your dream is too big. Don't let their disbelief become your truth. The most powerful silence you can create is not by arguing, not by defending yourself, but by showing results. Every time they say you can't, smile and say, watch me. Because silence doesn't mean weakness. Silence means focus. It means you stopped wasting words and started showing work. Let your discipline speak. Let your grind echo. Because once you start moving in purpose, your results will silence every critic in the room. There's a difference between noise and feedback. Noise distracts, feedback refines. You've got to know the difference. Don't shut your ears to wisdom, but learn to recognize when it's not wisdom. It's insecurity in disguise. Some people don't want you to rise because your rise reminds them of what they could have been. So they'll tell you to slow down, to take it to stop dreaming so big. But you can't listen to that. You got to stay locked in on the frequency of progress. You've got to be so focused that even when people talk, it sounds like background static. You hear it, but it doesn't move you. And understand this, your silence is not submission, it's strategy. The less you explain, the more powerful you become. You don't need to post every move, share every idea, or announce every plan. The world doesn't need to know what you're doing. They'll see it when it's done. The doubters feed on your energy, on your need to prove them wrong. But you don't prove them wrong with words. You prove them wrong with work. Every time you show up, every time you get better, every time you refuse to quit, you silence another voice that said you couldn't. It's easy to let the noise get to you when you're tired, when you're waiting for results, when you're putting in the work and nothing seems to be happening. But that's when you got to turn the volume down even more. You got to remind yourself why you started. You've got to go back to the reason you began this journey in the first place. Because purpose is the best noise canceling system in the world. When you're driven by something bigger than approval, no amount of noise can stop you. You've got to be willing to stand alone sometimes. Because the path to greatness is quiet. There's no crowd cheering for you at 4 a.m. when you're grinding. There's no applause when you're sacrificing comfort to build character. But that's okay, because those quiet moments are where champions are made. Those moments where you choose focus over fame, faith over fear, purpose over popularity, that's when you grow. That's when you learn to silence the doubters, not just outside of you, but inside of you. Yes, the most dangerous noise isn't always external. Sometimes it's internal. It's that voice that says, you're not good enough. You're too late. You'll never make it. You've got to silence that voice too. You've got to remind yourself that you got what it takes, that you're built for this. Every time doubt whispers, answer back with action. Every time fear rises, face it with faith. The enemy isn't the noise, your reaction to it. So train your mind to stay focused no matter what. The higher you climb, the louder the noise becomes. But if you stay focused, if you keep working, if you keep believing, eventually the noise becomes applause. The same people who said you wouldn't will start saying you were destined to. But by then, it won't even matter because you didn't do it for them. You did it for you. So from this moment forward, stop giving energy to noise. Stop explaining your process to people who will never understand your purpose. Stop letting someone else's disbelief delay your destiny. Silence the doubters before they silence you. By doing the work, by showing up when it's hard, by refusing to quit when it's quiet. Let your efforts speak so loud that their opinions are drowned out by the sound of your success. And remember this, when they said you couldn't, they were talking about themselves. But you are different. You got fire in your spirit and purpose in your veins. You've been chosen for something greater. So rise above the noise, block it out, and stay locked in. Because one day soon, they'll realize the same person they doubted became the one they admired. You don't silence the doubters with words. You silence them with results. Such something with results. Keep grinding until their noise becomes your motivation and your victory becomes their silence. Keep pushing until your name speaks louder than any voice that would try to stop you. Because when you believe in yourself and stay focused, every doubt will fade, every critic will quiet, and the only sound left will be the echo of your success. Focus is not just a skill, it's a lifestyle. It's what separates those who dream from those who do. In a world filled with distractions, your ability to lock in, to stay centered on your purpose is your greatest superpower. Every second, the world is throwing noise at you. Social media, gossip, negativity, temptation, laziness, comfort, all of it is designed to steal your attention. And when it steals your attention, it steals your potential. You can't expect to live an extraordinary life if you keep letting ordinary distractions pull you off course. You can't become great when your attention is divided between 100 meaningless things. Focus is rare because it requires sacrifice, but it's that sacrifice that creates separation. When you choose focus, you choose greatness. The problem with most people isn't that they lack talent, it's that they lack direction. They're busy but not effective. They're active but not advancing. They wake up every day chasing everything, which means they catch nothing. Focus is about deciding what's truly worth your energy and cutting out everything that's not. It's about saying, this is my lane, and refusing to drift. Because when you chase too many things, you end up losing the one thing that matters most. Progress. You gotta learn to say no. No to distractions, no to wasted time, no to the people and habits that don't align with your goals. Every no to the wrong thing is a yes to your purpose. Distractions come dressed as opportunities. They look good, they sound good, but not everything good is meant for you. Focus means you have to be selective. You gotta learn to discern between what's urgent and what's important. The urgent things scream for your attention, but the important things quietly shape your future. Every time you stop to entertain drama, comparison, or doubt, you lose momentum. And momentum is everything. It's what keeps you moving when motivation fades. That's why focus isn't about intensity for a moment. It's about consistency over time. If you ever want to build something meaningful, something lasting, you have to become ruthless about your focus. You can't give 100% to your dream when your mind is still tied up in distractions. You can't build an empire while scrolling through everyone else's highlight reel. You can't become a champion when you're giving your energy to things that don't make you better. Focus is a decision you make every single day. It's waking up and saying, no matter what comes my way today, I'm staying locked in. When you study the greats, when you look at the people who made history, they all had one thing in common: extreme focus. They weren't smarter than everyone else. They were just more disciplined. They knew how to tune out the noise. They understood that while everyone else was talking, they needed to be working. They weren't chasing attention. They were chasing excellence. And that's what made them legends. They understood something powerful. That focus compound. Every day you stay focused, you build momentum. Every day you say no to distractions, your discipline grows stronger. And here's the truth: Your focus determines your future. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. If your focus is on fear, you'll see obstacles. If your focus is on faith, you'll see opportunities. If your focus is on what's missing, you'll live in frustration. But if your focus is on growth, you'll start finding reasons to rise. The mind is like a camera. Whatever you focus on develops. So if you want to change your life, you don't start by changing your circumstances. You start by changing your focus. Distractions don't just come from outside. They come from within. Sometimes the biggest distraction is your own self-doubt. It's the fear of failure whispering that maybe you should slow down. Maybe you're not good enough. Maybe this isn't your time. But the only way to silence that noise is with focus. You got to keep your eyes on where you're going, not on what's trying to pull you back. Because if you stare at the storm, you'll forget about your destination. But if you keep your eyes on the vision, you'll walk right through it. Focus requires clarity. You've got to know what you want before you can protect it. Too many people lose focus. They never define their goal in the first place. They say they want success, but they don't know what success looks like for them. They say they want change, but they never identify what needs to change. You can't hit a target. You can't see. You can't hit a target. You can't. So step one is clarity. Get crystal clear on your purpose. Write it down. Visualize it. Remind yourself of it daily. When you know what your work, distractions automatically lose power. But focus also requires boundaries. You gotta guard your time like it's gold. Every minute wasted is a minute stolen from your dream. Don't let anyone or anything waste your energy. If it doesn't push you forward, it's pulling you back. That includes toxic people, negative conversations, unproductive habits, and empty entertainment. It doesn't mean you can't rest or have fun. It means you have to be intentional about it. Everything you do should align with your purpose. Every moment should serve your mission. That's how focused people live. You've also got to train your focus like a muscle. It doesn't come naturally. We live in a world that's designed to destroy your attention span. Every beat, every scroll, every notification is a test. But the more you practice focus, the stronger it gets. Start small, give your full attention to one task at a time. Turn off the noise, shut down the distractions, and pour your energy into the present moments. When you start mastering the little moments, you'll start dominating the big ones. You can't stay focused on something you don't care about. That's why you've got to find your why. Your why is the anchor that keeps you grounded when distractions try to pull you away. When your why is strong enough, your focus becomes unshakable. When you remember who you're doing it for, your family, your future, your freedom, then the noise starts to fade. Suddenly, that temptation to give up doesn't feel as strong because your purpose is stronger. Sometimes focus means being misunderstood. When you're locked in, people will say you've changed. They'll say you've become distant, too serious, too obsessed. Let them talk. They're not supposed to understand your grind because your vision wasn't given to them. Don't trade your destiny for their approval. Stay focused.